ain't better for the Kansas City Chiefs this offseason. They locked down their future in Patty Mahomes.
You got Jones, then Kelsey, and Mahomes signed for like half a billion. You got players on your football team buying baseball team.
I'm surrounded by baby toys. Like Patrick Mahomes is surrounded by guys who on offense are some of the best in the league.
Oh no, let the defense go. Let the defense go.
If Patty does what he does, and he has one less guy on offense.
And Kansas City,
thank you.
Coming in, welcome on in, everybody, to the SportsMe Weekly Windup. I am Derek from the Good Old Boys Fantasy Football Podcast, joined as always by Rum Boys Robbie of the Rum Boys Fantasy Network. How are we doing tonight?
Doing well, man. Doing well. It's windy as hell outside, so if like my internet cuts out or like anything weird happens, I apologize. It's just the weather here in Colorado Springs, bro.
Yeah, I know the feeling there because about got knocked over walking through some of that wind earlier today, and no fun. Don't recommend it. And 10 out of 10 hard pass. So
hard pass,
absolutely hard pass. No thanks. So, but no, it's been a lot of fun, right? It's been a little bit since we've done the weekly windup, right? We missed last week due to some stuff going on there, but we're back and better than ever. So we're gonna jump right on into this thing. We're gonna have lots of fun here, right? Like, so some of the things that we've been doing on the SportsMe app is a lot of bet type of stuff going on with another company called BetQL, and they've got some of their hosts coming on there and giving out some of their picks and some of their lines. And the SportsMe verse, you know yourself, SportsMe verse, you love chiming in on these things, and we love seeing the takes on these things. So it's been a lot of fun, been a blast. For everybody curious as to what in the world we're talking about, there's a couple of things you need to do. First off, you need to open up the app or the Google Play Store, the App Store, Google Play Store, whichever device is on your phone. Doesn't matter. Android, Apple, you got it on both.
App.
Open that app up, go get SportsMe, search it out, hit that download button, get yourself an account so you can hop in and join the conversation. These things are an absolute blast and a lot of fun. And we very much appreciate everybody that has been chiming in. The SportsMe verse is alive and hopping, and it is an absolute blast. So, Robbie, let's go ahead and head on over into some of these videos. But real quick, one of the guys that is no stranger to the SportsMe verse, HoovTube, chiming in saying, "What up, boys?" And it's a good day, Hoov. We appreciate you tuning in and watching the show. Lots and lots of fun here. But Robbie, we've been talking a lot of betting type of stuff here, a lot of things going on. Let's go ahead and start with one that became very, very relevant after a Monday Night Football game here, and that is the Packers and a prediction made a little while ago about that.
I'm Joe Giglio of BetQL Daily with a prop you should jump on right now. The Green Bay Packers at plus 350 on FanDuel Sportsbook. They have the best record in the NFL.
9-0. After a loss, they bounce back gorgeously.
I think it could be Bucks Packers 1-2.
This question makes me wonder what the line would have been preseason for this bet, because I predicted the Packers to finish with the best regular season record in the NFL.
I think the Packers definitely end up losing one or two of the games they do have remaining, though.
Expect the Buccaneers to finish with the best record this year.
Are the Packers the best team in the NFC? And I think they are the best team.
Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, they are just regular season warriors.
No matter what, Aaron Rodgers is a bad man.
But I think they win at least 4, if not all 5 of the remaining games.
Hammer Green Bay.
I can just victory lap on social media.
So I think that Green Bay could potentially win with the and with the best record in the NFC. The way that they just came back and willed through that Bears game. There's nothing that team is not prepared. They're not ready for. They're ready to go toe to toe with any freaking body. Of course, you still gotta go through Tampa. And that's gonna be tough having to run into Tom. But give me the Packers. Like it's that bad man, Aaron Rodgers. And I think like someone else said in the clip, the regular season warriors. We're talking about best record for the regular season. Let them go ahead and I think I could take them to have the best record. It's just It's Aaron Rodgers.
Right. That is absolutely Aaron Rodgers. And it's, how do you bet against this guy who continually just seems to put the Packers in the NFC Championship game year after year after year after year, and really just kind of continually does it. And it'll be very interesting, right? Because most of the time when the Packers are there, they're visiting somebody else, and they're in somebody else's stadium when it comes time for the AFC Championship game. The way things are trending, that road very well might run through Lambeau, and that will have huge implications on anything there. HoovTube, who likes to dub himself as Mr. Wisconsin, said that he was a big doubter on Green Bay this season with the second half schedule, but he's been proved wrong. They're still just as good. And so some other interesting things there kind of coming out of Green Bay recently, right? Like
the toe.
Well, Mr. Toe himself, I don't know if you catch much of Pat McAfee's show or not, but it seemed like the tide has turned on is Aaron Rodgers going to be a Packer again next year? A lot of folks thinking that recently that tide may have changed and he may be going back there yet again. So some other very interesting things to think about on how this is going to play out here this year.
If I'm A-Rod and I'm looking around at the rest of the league and I'm looking at what I got, like, I could see myself maybe trying to convince myself, like, listen here, motherfucker, we don't necessarily need to take this trip anywhere else. Like, and plus, like, just all the love he has up in Green Bay. I think he owns like a couple properties up in Wisconsin. And just, shout out to Sexy Rexy for the whole I know a lot about feet thing. That was just weird on Get Up. If y'all didn't see that, that is the most funniest clip. My man's Ryan Clark said, and just walked off, just walked off, said, y'all gotta see that clip.
Yeah, it was a good one, and it's gonna be very interesting there, right? Like that.
Ryan got a foot fetish, bro.
Oh, I don't even know where to go from there. So you know what we're going to do? We're just going to pivot and go right to another video here. And so, a lot of folks talking about the moves that the Lakers made this offseason and, how they were going to bring things home, how they were going to do a lot of this stuff. And, a lot of offseason moves. Let's go ahead and hit up a video about the Lakers and some title chances.
Hey, it's Nick Ashew from the BetQL Network and CBS Sports Radio. I see this headline with LeBron James talking about the Lakers need to play better. Frank Vogel's getting criticized. Of course, this team was supposed to win a title this year. They were one of the favorites. I don't care what their odds are now. I don't care what they were at the beginning of the season. This current collection, this Lakers roster, is not winning a championship this year.
Can we win a title? Yes.
The Lakers are a team full of me's and not we's.
Vogel's not that good of a coach, never has been.
They're the geriatric millennial Lakers. They're too old.
If LeBron is on the Lakers, they always have a chance.
LeBron is washed.
Like a bad tweet, this too won't age well.
The Lakers are going to continue to suck.
How many players did they trade for Anthony Davis to be this superstar player that he has not been?
Are they going to win the title? Not a chance.
I'd hold our horses on this.
Okay. Me being a Lakers fan, can LA win a title? Yeah. Like, whenever you have LeBron James, like, anything is possible. Are they going to? No. Like it was mentioned, I think Jamie had said, it's a bunch of me's, not a bunch of we's. I knew that this team was going to become a bunch of me's and not a bunch of we's. It's really just Russell Westbrook that's like really like a me type of player. I knew that the acquisition of him was going to just be bad for us. I wasn't, excited about bringing in Russ or anything like that. But when you have those talents, it's kind of hard to just say, oh no, they're not going to win a title. Like I think that it's completely blasphemous and completely crazy just to be like, oh no, the Lakers aren't, just to completely write them off. You're delusional if you're just going to completely write them off. I don't think that they'll win a title this year, but can it happen? Absolutely. Do I have them completely written off? No. It's just too much talent on a roster, too much firepower. Where if all it takes for them to get hot, and then now everyone's eating crow. So
right. Yeah, I don't know. That Western Conference is still tough this year, and I don't know that they're going to be able to get through the onslaught of what they're going to have to get through in a playoff type of bracket there. And you're talking about having to win win 4 games in a best of 7 type of thing. I just don't see it. Yeah, over and over and over again. I don't see it happening, not with this squad, things like that. Some interesting things there, right? Like one of the things that got brought up in that conversation was they dumped all their eggs in the Anthony Davis basket and brought him in. And, how often have we seen this narrative now play out where LeBron goes to a team, they make a move to go out and get
him help. Yeah.
Get a big man type of player, typically a power forward, like we've seen happen more than once now, where they are a superstar and considered one of the best in the league. When they're playing on another team, they get to that spot playing with LeBron, and now all of a sudden they are not. They're seemingly not as good as they were previously. This is the third guy that we've seen that happen with during LeBron's career and tenure with teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that happens, but I think the Lakers, with LeBron possibly, at the end of his career, I mean, no one was looking at like Jordan at 37 is like, go win a title. Like it was like, bro, you're 37 fucking years old. Like it was, so I think that they're all in on AD. I think they keep AD around, and AD is the future of that team. And they find ways to build around him. But I mean, the Lakers' future, like it's that window's dwindling. Like that window's probably dwindled and is probably clearing out. It'll be a couple of years, but then we'll be right back into title contentions. We see this all the time with teams like the Lakers and the Celtics and so on and so forth. So I'm not worried. We'll suffer for a couple of years and we'll be fine.
Although the Celtics went through a couple of big droughts there. The Lakers haven't had quite those long periods of drought that we've seen other teams have there. But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're in LA, right?
We're in LA.
They've got an ownership group that's willing to go out and just spend money like it's going out of style. So because again, it's LA. So so very interesting one there. Let's go ahead and head over to another NFL topic, right? Talking on some NFL betting here, and some interesting trends were coming out. This was one of the things that started making its rounds yesterday in app.
Hey everyone, Erin Hawksworth here with BetQL Daily. So in the last couple weeks, favorites have done very well. In fact, in the last 2 weeks, favorites by more than a touchdown have gone 11-0 against the spread. I think this is a trend that's going to continue when you look at the Week 15 board.
I always love rooting for underdogs.
I think the trend probably will continue.
It's a smart play, it's a smart strategy for those that are out there.
Probably not. I mean, Vegas is so good at keeping it 50-50.
I think the favorites are going to continue to do pretty well.
We'll see if that trend continues or not going forward.
It should. I mean, we're right in the midst of tanking season.
It's cool to take the favorites.
But it feels like this week we may have a couple of trap games in here.
Bet a little, win a lot.
Check those health reports before you put your money down.
What are your thoughts here?
I like how I was mentioning that that's 11-0 ATS went up by a touchdown against the spread ATS for those favorites. I like that it was mentioned, hey, we're literally in the middle of tanking season. In betting, you want to follow trends, right? You want to follow trends. You want to look for those trends because you want to try and find chalk that you can hit on. This is when you look at trends and you hear that 11-0, went up by a touchdown. If I am someone that is brand new to sports betting, and why you're just now getting into it now in like week 15, I don't know. But if I'm someone that's kind of newish into the sports betting world, I'm taking Aaron's advice there. I'm taking many others' advice in there, and I'm going to follow the trend. I'm going to follow the 11-0 ATS. I'll probably pick a couple of favorites this week and take them by the spread and just see how that works out. Also, I want to add to one of the easiest categories. I play a lot of money line. I'm a big money line person. I'm the money line maven. If you're a rookie at this type of stuff, playing the spread is probably the easiest for you. Just because it's not a deadlock. You're not dealing like a 50-50, a toss of like who is necessarily going to win. You're just playing the spread. I'm also over unders as well. But yeah, so I like what you said. Definitely a lot of knowledge there, and it's a trend that I expect to continue to follow.
See, and I'm on the opposite approach with you, and I said it earlier on the video that I see a lot of trap games coming this week, right? So if you're talking the spread, right, there's a lot of double-digit spreads here. These lines have even increased overnight here, so a lot of double-digit spreads, and there's few there in the NFL. There are few teams out there that can honestly hold on and win a double-digit line. Right? Like you think about the fact that Tampa Bay and Buffalo last week, Tampa Bay had Buffalo on the ropes for more than a half of that football game. And all of a sudden it came back into it and they tied it up. Like that's one of those, and Tampa Bay is no slouch on defense.
No, hell no. Yeah.
It's like they managed to bring some things through there. So when I look at some of these lines this week, you've got the Bills favored by 10.5, the Cardinals right now favored by 13, the Dolphins favored by 10 against the Jets. That feels like a trap game to me. Part of the reason is you see, like, we don't have any idea who in the world Miami's gonna run out there at running back.
Yeah. So with you make a very compelling point. Because what's happening is, and what that means is that the odds makers have caught on to the fact that people are following these trends and people are banking on these trends to hit. So yeah, they're probably gonna stretch out those point spreads, make them 10-point spreads, because like you said, it's a lot harder to uphold a double digit spread in the NFL. I mean, these are top tier football players.
Right.
So I like that you put that out there. That's something to definitely be wary on. Maybe play maybe you play KC at the -3.
I've got one for you. The line right now sitting on the Eagles and the football team is exactly 7. So right, like going on the trends, you'd have to take the Eagles on this one. And I know
That's
how
a
big
trap.
one.
Yes,
Yes,
a trap.
yes, it
That's
is.
a trap.
That's
Washington almost came back against Dallas even after Heineke throwing double picks. Like,
right.
That's a trap. Stay the fuck away from that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do
that's
that.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
a money line game.
There are a ton of ones out there that I really feel like are some traps, and this is a trend I do not see continuing.
Yeah, now that you kind of put it like looking at now like I'm looking at some like what I would do with this Sunday slate is I would play the obvious ones, like I'd play like the -3 on the Chiefs. I'd do the -2.5 possibly on the Colts. That Browns one is a tough one. Damn, there's a lot of double-digit spreads this week. I would do Jacksonville -4. Like those are some of the ones I'd probably do. Rams by -4.5. I would probably play a couple of those. The ones are like super obvious, but if there's something that you don't feel too confident on, like we brought up that Washington one, for example, don't do that. Don't play that. Don't put that on your card.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Is there going to be enough of these types of games, especially with the line there, that if you're going off of this following an 11-0 trend type of thing, just like any other trend,
it's 11-0 when being up by a touchdown.
Right. Correct. 11-0 on the spread when favored by a touchdown or more. What I'm telling you is there is enough games in this thing this weekend that there are going to be probably 2 or 3 trap games in this one. And I can absolutely see that one playing out, that you're going to have 2 or 3 trap games that are going to buck this trend and change it quick, fast, and in a hurry.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. All righty. Let's head
Star Wars
over.
fans got that reference.
Yes. Let's go ahead and head on over into some more NBA action.
What is up, you guys? Quick mail from BetMGM tonight. Just finished the show, and I have to say I couldn't leave without this. Why is Ben Simmons still a 76er?
It comes down to the Sixers wanting an established all-star over a package of non-all-stars.
You ain't going trading for a bag of chips.
And they have no rush to trade him. We're not even close to the trade deadline yet.
He would be really good on the Blazers, him and Dame.
Portland's just a dumpster fire. Get him out of there.
They don't want him. He doesn't want to be there.
Just hurry up, move on from Ben Simmons.
Daryl Morey, you're a crazy man. I'm not quoting him, but he literally said, we're willing to eat the money.
All are at the foot of Daryl Morey, so I don't think that's mentioned a lot. And it seems like maybe it's something with his negotiation styles.
Who are we accept? What is my trade offer for Ben Simmons? Let's play GM to GM.
They definitely need a lot, and I think that they're probably going to ask for or not settle for anything. So I think somebody needs to offer a lot for them to deal Ben Simmons.
So a lot of interesting deals there. What's your thoughts here?
Philly's going to have to eat the money. Philly's going to have to eat the money. They've been talking about moving on from Ben Simmons for what, two years now. If it's not bringing you a title, figure out a way to move on. I know that LA was in some talks. I think last I heard they were front runners to land Ben Simmons. I don't think that's a great fit for us. I mean, it gives us a good down low presence, since Russ likes to constantly try and jack these mystical fucking threes. So I mean, it gave us some good presence, to be able to rebound down low, put some shots back up on the board, get some good offensive rebounds, and be able to recover and get some points that way down low. But man, if you're Philly, why is he still there? Why? I mean, I get that it's that we're not approaching the trade deadline yet. I mean, but I think that he'll definitely be gone for the trade deadline. I don't think that he's worth the haul that Philly may be requesting. And then also, it was mentioned, this falls on the lows of Daryl Morey. We've always known that he has not been, one of the greatest negotiators over the last couple of years. He's tried to move Ben Simmons before, and it just fucking doesn't happen. Still a Sixer, so yeah.
Yeah. And at the same time too, though, they if memory serves right, he's still under contract for multiple years after this one here as well. So it's one of those that, at the same time too, if you're not going to get something, this isn't like when we see a lot of these other types of trade deals happen, things like that come up where a player is going to be a free agent at the end of the year anyway. So then it becomes this, sign and move type of thing and get that going. Philly.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say Philly can really kind of sit back and dictate their terms on this one and go through it. It really just depends on what does that look like for your locker room going on, and what does that look like for your organization as a whole, right? If him not playing is obviously not helping you win basketball games there. So what's the object that the organization is going for? Are you going for better draft picks? You going for what really is the end goal there? And we've been led to believe, trust the process forever over there in Philadelphia. And this was supposed to be the process finally playing out there where they assembled all of these draft picks, and they finally got a couple of guys to hit. And now it seems that they can't hold that locker room together and that organization together. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out.
And teams want 3-point shooting guys, and Ben's just not that. You don't have a 3-point shot, don't expect to get crazy offers, out the ass offers. I mean, he's still an amazing talent, but you need to have a 3-point shot in your game.
Yeah, if he was playing the game 30 years ago, he would have been
it'd be great.
Fit that style, fit that game tremendously well, but it does not translate into the 2020 version of the NBA. It really doesn't. Your point guard has to be able to create shots, and has to be able to have a deep shot there as well. And he unfortunately just doesn't. So
agreed.
All righty. So this was another very interesting one that came up over the last couple of days here, right? And it's an NFL topic, and we're going to do this one a little different than we do some of these other videos that we play for you, things like that. We're literally going to just give you kind of the front part of this, asking the question. Then Robbie and I are going to kind of riff on this thing and go back and forth on this, and you guys can kind of get kind of a feel of how some of the SportsMe looks and works here. And again, if you haven't done so, you're missing out. You need to join the conversation. Download the SportsMe app, get sportsme.com, and come over there and join us. So let's go ahead and take a look at this.
All right, Smokey got me thinking about something. If Mac Jones was drafted number 1 by the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence went to the Patriots, how much difference would there be in their records, the team? Would they be the same? This is a hot take. I think Mac Jones is better than Trevor Lawrence. I think the Jaguars would have 3 more wins. Tell me what you think.
The Jaguars wouldn't have to worry. Like, they'd be fighting it out with the Detroit Lions for that number 1 overall pick. Both of them trying to bite kneecaps on their way up type of thing to see who can win this thing. But no.
Hold on.
No.
Here's my thing. All right. Here's my thing. All right. You can tell that this was like analyzed at like based off like the eyes, like, oh, this person was drafted here. This person was drafted here. Like, look, let's take it to film. Okay. Mac Jones's playbook. Okay. Mac Jones's playbook is significantly more conservative than that of Trevor Lawrence. Okay. Mac Jones also has a head coach in Bill Belichick, the greatest head coach of all time, who's been freaking winning rings since the 90s, all the way back to when he was a freaking defensive coordinator. Okay. Or I'm sorry, not winning rings, but getting into playoffs and stuff. Like, the dude's a bad man. Like the dude's a bad man. Been in the league forever. Urban Meyer is just now. Okay. This is his first season as an NFL head coach. He coached college kids. He coached freaking teenagers practically. I mean, okay, they're adults like at that point, but still, like he was coaching people that just left mommy and daddies. Like now he's like dealing with like real grown ass men. Like it's completely different.
Not only grown ass men, multi-millionaire
grown ass men. Like there's no way in hell that if these 2 quarterbacks were to switch spots, that the Jacksonville Jaguars Duval is going to have 3 more wins underneath Mac Jones, who freaking couldn't even pass in inclement weather and has never even seen no, hell no. This man's pro day was him running QB options. He didn't even throw a pass beyond 20 yards in his freaking pro day. Matt Jones barely throws the ball beyond 20 yards. He's not one of the greatest arms. He's winning games because his coach is coaching to his strengths. Hey, I know that you can't throw the long bomb, Matt. So we're gonna keep your throws with a lot of curl routes and a lot of slants and stuff like that. We're gonna hit hit Harris out the backfield and use Ramondre Stevenson and stuff. Come on. The film don't lie. The film don't lie.
No, it doesn't. When you also look at this thing too, right? There's a reason that the Patriots, and by the way, the Patriots were dealing with were one of the team's heaviest hit by the opt-outs in 2020, right? Yep. They had a otherworldly, all-world type of defense that a lot of those players opted out on, and their defense, even with those opt-outs, was still decent enough to keep them into games to the point where they could win that thing through and come out with a 7-9 type of record and get a 15th overall pick. There's a reason that Jacksonville had a new head coach and basically an entire new staff there, and was sitting there with the number 1 overall pick, as well as multiple picks throughout the early rounds there as well, because they traded away anybody that had any value for that to get additional draft picks. So let's look at the Jaguars here. They've got a very poor offensive line. Your second first-round draft pick you spent on Travis Etienne to be the safety blanket for Trevor Lawrence. Hasn't played this season, right? Got injured on a preseason deal, has not played. You have yet, Jacksonville Jaguars, to figure out how to use James Robinson. By the way, it's a foolish move to draft a rookie in the first round and give him a first-round contract to a rookie running back when you have a running back that is able to do what James Robinson did, and you were paying him nothing. He was an undrafted rookie on a very, very small deal. So what could you have done differently than investing that draft pick into another running back, and which a running back you got to pay? I don't know. You could have invested that money in some other free agents to bring in, help out that line, help out that defense.
The Jaguars blew free agency. The Jaguars blew free agency.
You could have spent that other first-round pick on a guy on the defensive line. You could have spent it on a wide receiver. You could have spent it on a lot of different options. You didn't need a running back. And that's just emphasizes the point that the Jacksonville Jaguars are a very poorly run organization.
There has never been a moment this season. There has never been a moment this season where Mac Jones has gone out and 100% put a game on his back.
No.
And to say that he would win 3 more in Duval, you're saying that he is the type of person, the type of quarterback that could put a game on his back. And that's not him. That's not him. Like that'll be him probably in a couple of years, But even still, like we're 15 weeks in, and I have yet to see this kid really just let the rock fly. Because he's not a quarterback.
No. Trevor Lawrence on the Patriots, they're probably a 10 or 11 win team right now. So they probably get another win or 2 out of it. Just how that plays out. Jacksonville,
you can stretch the field. You can stretch the field deeper, right. and now it makes the Bourne Identity Kendrick a lot more dangerous. Exactly. Jacoby Myers probably has at least 3, 4, 5 even more touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nelson Aguilar, who's a reception beast, as much as we joke about him dropping balls, he's probably just he would probably just be the backfield for New England would probably be non-existent if Trevor Lawrence was the quarterback. It would still be there, but like it would. I don't want to say like non-existent, but like it wouldn't be what it is.
I don't know about. You're probably right to some extent, but I don't know that it's that deep on that one from the standpoint that you look at how the Patriots went out and constructed that roster during the offseason, even without the Mac Jones type of deal, right? Like they went out, they spent heavily on tight ends that could block, they can do that. They are playing a different style of football than everybody else in the league, right? Everybody else in the league trying to copy what Kansas City's doing, what Buffalo was doing, what a lot of these teams are doing, where they've got smaller, fast receivers. They've got burners. They're using tight ends to do some of that. They've got receiving tight ends, not necessarily guys that are exceptional blocking tight ends. And the Patriots
been amazing. Yeah.
Yep. The Patriots have built it differently than everybody else does, and they're playing a different style of football that is a little bit more of a throwback type of game where you're seeing them control the clock, which, by the way, when you've got that defense going, why wouldn't you just control the clock with the run, play behind, and allow your defense to go out there and do that? So as a quarterback for the Patriots, you know what you need to do is not turn the ball over, and their team is going to have a shot at winning every one of those games. If you can control the clock and not turn the ball over, that is how Bill Belichick likes to win games. Yeah, and even a guy like Tom Brady early in his career, similar makeup, right?
It was very similar.
Controlling the clock, not turning the ball over, and playing behind an exceptional defense.
Bill just went back to doing what Bill does. Yeah, Bill went back to being Bill. Like, Trevor Lawrence is in Mac Jones's seat. Trevor Lawrence, we're saying, greatest first round pick. We're blowing it up. We're going crazy. Like, give Sunshine some time. Let Jacksonville move on from Urban, or either Lawrence move on from Jacksonville, and let's see what'll happen, because I could see Lawrence maybe having like a Sam Darnold-esque type of path. So,
right. Yeah, and that Mitch Trubisky type of deal there as well. Like you hope that that's not the case, but this is where some of the coaching and some of the development and putting the players around them to be successful come into play, and there's a lot of things that need to take place there. But here's
Jamal Agnew's been wide receiver 1 in that offense. Like, come on,
right. And so that really leads another question there as well, right? Like we rag on the Patriots as a football analyst and a fantasy analyst there that they're not one of the better receiving cores out there. But if you're a young quarterback, who would you rather be throwing the ball to, the Patriots receiving core or the Jaguars receiving core?
Who I rather have? Wait, what was the question? I'm sorry.
So if you're a young quarterback and you've got to throw the ball there, who would you rather be throwing the ball to, the Patriots receivers or the Jacksonville Jaguars receivers?
Give me the Patriots receivers. They've been in the league longer, aside from Marvin Jones. But Bourne's been in the league for a while. Jonnu, elite talent. If I can run through the 12 personnel with that passing core. New England just put together significantly better. Even though their receiving core is a bunch of discount guys, clearance rack guys. They're still a lot more proven than Jacksonville, having Jamal Agnew, Laviska Shenault, and Marvin Jones Jr.
Right. And even if you give me a healthy DJ Chark back in that mix, I don't know that
Yeah,
changes much
and
because
that
it
doesn't.
didn't
Yeah,
change much throughout the season. So, Jacksonville just looks like a team where they are, their offense seems at odds with with itself throughout the game, and they
and that
can't
locker
decide what
room,
they're going to do.
and in that locker room, I mean, you got coach getting in players' faces, fighting players, like, and then the owner, Shah Khan, saying he's not ready to make a hasty decision on Meyer, but it's like, bro, you got your locker room wanting to jump the coach, like, come on, bro, come on.
So dysfunction does not breed winning.
No.
And so, unless they can fix some of that dysfunction, I think that we're going to be in for that. But I don't necessarily know that I'm going to pin that on Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to pin that on the organization. So
I'm not pinning on a rookie quarterback with a rookie coach. Like,
no.
In one of the youngest organizations in one of the youngest franchises in the NFL, like, come on, like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Not doing that.
Right.
Like
right.
Jacksonville, when Coughlin was a GM after his tenure with as a head coach with the Giants, when Coughlin came down there, Jacksonville led the league in most player complaints to the NFLPA. Their front office can't even satisfy people and get things right.
Right.
I'm not blaming Trevor. Come on.
I like it. Alrighty. So, Robbie, I don't have any more videos to play.
No.
I think that's going to take us down here to the end of it. Any final thoughts for everybody out there?
Download the app, available on iOS and Android. Like, comment, and subscribe to this content. And be sure to share the SportsMe app with all your friends. Make some sports memes with your friends. If you're with a group of buddies at the bar, at the lunch, at work or something, and you guys start talking it up. Pull your phone out, make a sports me together, make some accounts, so on and so forth.
Absolutely. And if you drastically disagree with any of our takes here that we've just been going on
Get
and
at
on in
me.
our Jacksonville Jaguar bashing session that it seemed to become, but if you have any issue with that, you can find us on the SportsMe app. Call us out. Let's talk it through. Let's have the conversation about it. It's always a lot of fun and a blast over there. So get sportsme.com, download the app today. He's Robbie, I'm Derek, and this has been the Weekly Windup. Have a good one.